This is the Heart to Spirit Connections webcast, and it's a free monthly webcast to expand our heart's connection with spiritual guidance, to feel the balance on all four bodies, physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual, as we're discovering and exploring the tools of ancient Lemurian wisdom that comes through my mentor, Kahu Fred Sterling, and our guide, Master Guide Kirill. And we include in this Lemurian wisdom the 10 principles of consciously creating, the signature cell healing, the Lemurian numerology, and so on. And our topic today is clarity in a time of illusions. What is the truth? And I was speaking on this topic, or with the graduates. We have a graduates, signature cell healing graduates review class every third Saturday of the month. And if you are a signature cell healing graduate of a workshop that I've done or that Colin Fred Sterling did, please email me, because I'd like to invite you to join that group. And we will be having more online workshops later this year or early next year. We'll see. So our topic, clarity in time of illusions, we were speaking about this, and I'm really, really grateful for that session, because I'm coming to a new level of clarity on the illusion, and it's really energizing me. You can feel that. There's so much going on around in my life, a lot of completions and new beginnings. Some of you might have heard about our final streaming session at Honolulu Church of Light. Also, we've got a room in our house that we are completely decluttering and demoing and remodeling. So there's all kinds of energy just moving right now. And it can be this way for everyone. It's not just me. And I think what happens is it comes at particular times in our lives when we're ready, and our higher selves start to push a little bit. I got a splinter a couple of days ago that all night I was tossing and turning. I was thinking, what the heck? I didn't eat anything bad. I didn't drink anything wrong, and this, that. And then I realized, oh my God, it's another splinter. So it's a good sign when you get those splinters, and you can read about that on my website, KarinnaNielsen.com. We get these from our higher selves when it's time to kind of move forward a bit, and the higher self wants to kind of move us along. And if we don't resist that, it's not, painful like you think a splinter might be. It's just about moving into a new stage of your growth. And that's what we're all doing on Earth. All of us, everyone is moving, evolving, or not. Some might be kind of staying in a place that's comfortable, but the higher selves of everyone on Earth are coming through now to move people along, because it's time. It's time to evolve, and it's time for this energy of the fourth dimension to prevail on this planet. And there are openings to the fifth dimension. Have you been to the top of Haleakala lately? There's a lot of energy coming through on these ancient Lemurian peaks and these sacred places, energies of higher dimensional focuses. And that's kind of rattling things in the third dimension now. I don't know if you've noticed that or not. Some people don't look at the news anymore. Or maybe they just kind of are a little more discerning about what we look at, and that's fine, because our topic today, clarity in a time of illusions, that speaks to this very well. What are the illusions that we are bringing forth in our lives? Never mind the other people. Let's look at ourselves today and the illusions that might be coming through for us, in order to get clarity on those illusions and see the truth for ourselves. And that will have a greater effect on the whole world. When we heal ourselves, we're healing the rest of the world, right? It's a collective consciousness of love. So I want to, before I run away with the topic, because I had an amazing guidance from Master Guide Kirill this morning on this topic, and there's just so much to talk about. So first, I want to talk about this month of May, because the energy of April, I don't know if you noticed it or not, but it was a little stuck in the beginning. It was kind of slow moving, and then about mid-month, everything started to boom, that's a move forward for me at least. And then things got a little wobbly, you know, in that energy. So there was no clarity, and that's kind of where this topic came from. There seemed to be, you know, this is what's happening, or that's what's happening, or somebody says this is the truth, or that's the truth. And I found that I needed to go even deeper into meditations to see what is the truth for me personally. When I look at something and I send my love into it, does that dissipate the fear that created that illusion? And fear is not necessarily a bad thing, right? Fear is something that just kind of protects us, yeah, but kind of in a measured way reveals to us the truth of who we are. So the fears kind of keep it in balance to where we are at any given time. I don't know if that makes sense. So now that we have come into this month of May, which is the 5th month, and 5 is the number in Lemurian numerology for love, for unconditional love. And that happens to be my life path number, my Lemurian life path number. So I got a double dose of it this month coming up. And if you don't know your Lemurian life path number, do you just add your day, the day, month, and year of when you were born, and bring it all down to one digit? So there's a kind of a quick guide to that on KarinnaNielsen.com in the Lemurian Wisdom section. And you can read about what that numerology is. And unfortunately, Sandra couldn't join us live today, and this is her favorite part of the program. So we're going to pull a Lemurian prophecy card for our webcast today. So I've just got the regular card deck, and in our last or most recent signature cell healing online workshop, we learned about the Lemurian prophecy cards. And thank you, Tatiana, for suggesting that. And we had a wonderful time giving each other readings. And it really is a special part of the Lemurian wisdom that hasn't really been brought forth that much. So I chose to bring it forth now. And we thank the Chancellor Mufa for the guidance in bringing that forth. And it's just a really great tool that you can use every morning, you know, after your meditation, before your meditation. Choose a Lemurian prophecy card and then get a message, do an automatic writing, or go into meditation and ask, what does this mean for me? What is the guidance from this card? Excuse me. So everyone, please send your love and light into this card deck, and I'll choose one for us today. And just cut it in half, and then we'll choose the top one. What a wonderful number. Okay, so this is the king, and I think there's a couple of graduates from that workshop that might be able to tell me what this card represents. Tatiana, what do you feel about it? Okay, you got it on mute. Gotcha. Wait.
This is spiritual. This is spiritual.
This is the clubs is the mental, right? The suit for the mental body. And the king was the god light, the guardians. All right. When I look at this card, I think of Master Imhotep, frankly, because this is the wisdom of the guardians. And of course, we have the King of Spades, which is we call the Kirill card, right? When it's a spade. This one I kind of think of as the wisdom or the mental prowess of the guardian spirits that guide our great shift. And also our focus, just in general, this card, because the king is our God self, our direction, our focus, our movement forward, the action card, and this is the mental body. So clarity in a time of illusions, this is a perfect card because it's about us directing our thoughts to create our own reality. We have the power to do that. Thank you. Okay. So any questions about that so far? I think that's a beautiful card for today, for this idea about clarity beyond the illusion. Because why do we have, first of all, why do we have illusions anyway in our world? And if I'm talking about our own personal world. So what is an illusion? Is an illness a disease? Is that an illusion? What about our relationships? What about these things that we say, not enough time, not enough money, and not enough energy? Those three things. To me, these are the biggest illusions in my life anyway, and that I can see in the world. When you think about what's holding you back, or what are the limits, those are really the fears that kind of keep us in place. And remember, I said fear is not necessarily a bad word. It keeps us in a space to have this illusion in order to process through the healing that it represents, so that we can see more and more of the truth of who we are. And who are we? We're love. We're love incarnate. We're the creator light incarnate. And we can create whatever we want, whenever we want it. But if we knew that, if we really truly knew that, would we stay on planet Earth? I mean, I wonder if I would, if I truly knew all the potential of creating this fabulous, everything, and not being held back by anything. Maybe I'd just move on. And so the truth is revealed, in my feeling, the truth is revealed to us on levels that we're ready to see. There was a channeling that I had from Master Guide Kirill. It's on my website now, and there's a link to it on the homepage at the moment, but it's in the channel guidance. And it was about this topic, and that's kind of what brought the topic forth. And the part I want you to hear right now is, in your world, there are so many illusions created by you humans every day. These illusions go beyond fear. They're actually a desire not to see. But when you say, I want to see the truth, you will. Your higher self will reveal the truth to you on the next level of your awareness that you are ready to see. So the next level comes as your higher self or your guidance knows you're ready for. So if you're ready to, like us, finally, after, we've been living in this house for over 20 years. This was what they call a zombie house when we first moved in, right? And we gutted everything, just like we've been watching this program called Zombie House Flippers. And I just love that, because that's what this house looked like when we moved into it. And we gutted everything. And gradually, this particular room started to get to be a clutter magnet. And with the excuse that we're getting visitors for one night coming up next month, there is a decluttering going on, but that's just the impetus, right? You have to take the step. And so everything got moved into motion. So I think if you look and if you're ready, I mean, I could have said, no, I'm not ready. I need that. I need to keep that stuff from my parents, or I need to keep that stuff from 500 years ago. You can do that. But at some point, you just don't want to, right? It just feels like you don't, why, right? And so that's when those, I call them excuses, but it's maybe just a limit or a fear or something that we place there in order for us to process through the lesson plan. So if you've got, for example, anybody that now all of us can say, yeah, I had a rough childhood. I had a rough childhood. A lot of people had rough childhood. Some had really rougher than others, and some can let it go and just move on and be who they are now. And others need to keep it with them. Like when they walk into the room, you can almost see them like that kid that they were. And they need that for some reason. Why do they need that? Maybe they need it because it helps to get friends to them, or it helps to get sympathy from people, or it helps. What is the reason that we're holding on to anything? Why? And I think we can ask ourselves that. Ask ourselves, I think I wrote that as like a question somewhere. What's the purpose of the illusions in our lives? What what do they represent for us, and what do we gain from that? And at some point when you say, okay, I don't believe that anymore. I don't believe that. I don't believe I need that. I don't believe I had a rough, okay, I had a rough childhood, but I don't believe it was just because I'm a bad person. I believe it was because I could learn to love myself. What's the lesson plan behind the illusion? And when you're ready to get the lesson plan, let's take, for example, my mentor, Kahu Fred Sterling. He had a pretty rough childhood. He had 7 stepfathers. And he used to talk about this, not in the later years, but early on. And it's in his bio, I'm sure, somewhere, that his mother dropped him off at an orphanage. And he had 7 stepfathers. I mean, he was really rough. And he finally made it into the military and to Vietnam, as if that's an escape, right? And got on track to coming here in Hawaii. But you never heard him talk about it. You didn't hear him talk about, right, Aldine? Am I right? He didn't talk about that, his childhood, that much, because he didn't want to. He wasn't that person anymore, right? So ask yourself, who do I want to be? Who do I want to be right now? Do I want to be who I was when I was 12 or 20 or maybe 30? Or, who do I want to be? Do I want to be who I am now? And if I want to be who I am now, how do I feel about that? And I can choose how I feel about that. I can choose to feel good about who I am now, and then look forward into what's going to open up for me now. This is so exciting, right? You can be so impassioned about your own life as it is right now, just by choosing your thoughts. How do you think about it? What do you believe? In the online workshops, I show this slide with the little kitty cat in front of this big mirror, this full-length mirror, and she's looking into that mirror, and what does she see in the mirror? A giant lion, right? So what does she believe? She believes she's incredible. She's this lion, right? I bet, some people could look in that mirror and say, oh God, I look awful, or oh my God, there's that thing again, or there's this or that, what do we see? What do we see? And what we see is a reflection of our beliefs. What do we believe? That's what we see. And so I think I had a program not too long ago that was believe it and you will see it, right? And so I want to amend that just a little bit and call it believe it and you will be it. Because what you believe, you are. You are. So if you believe that you are, you have enough time, you have enough money, you have enough energy, everything in life is going well for you, you're doing what you love what you're doing, let's put it that way, you love what you're doing, and you love the people around you, you're going to start to believe that. You're going to start to feel it. You're going to start to be it. And in this writing I had this morning with Master Kiro, he said that, that movie, The Secret, right? That's the secret, right? So that's it. That's it. And we can even look in this book here, Kiro the Genesis Matrix, that talks a lot about how did this matrix of thought, our belief systems, like work hard, earn money, all the third dimensional things, good people get this, bad people get that, the yin and the yang, all of that was laid out in a matrix for us to evolve through in our third dimensional journeys. Well, folks, that third dimensional journey is coming to a close. And that's why things are starting to get really shaky and really wobbly. And the more we can stay centered in the love of who we are, the more we're going to be able to evolve through that into a higher version of thought. And that higher version of thought is the balance of the four bodies, physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual, in love. And that would bring us into the fourth dimension and open us to the fifth dimension of love. 5, love. Here we are in May. Oh, that's so cool. So Master Kiro was saying something about the secret here. Remember what they call the secret. What is that? Well, it's simply what I've been telling you about for ages. What you believe becomes your reality. And that's the secret. That's the whole movie, that's the whole book, all that stuff. So believe in yourself, believe in love, and know that changing how you feel about something changes everything. Changing how you feel about something. So here we come back full circle to everything that's going on out there, right? Everything that's going on in our lives, everything that's going on inside of our bodies or inside of, what we experience every day. How do we feel about it? That's the thing we can change. And if we feel the love for ourselves and let that go out to the people around us and love the people around us and then love the whole world shifts, because there's a lot more people that know this than what you might hear from in our so-called mainstream media. There's a lot of people that are connecting in love with each other, either, together in groups like goddess groups or goddess weaves, spiritual gatherings, things like that, but also in global meditations like we do every month, about 3 nights before the full moon. We're going to do that again on the 8th of May. So join us. That's on my website at KarinnaNielsen.com. We can't go back. We have to keep moving forward. And the times now give us so many opportunities. I think that's why I feel so passionate about it at this time, because the doors are opening for the changes. And if you don't close the door or you don't turn away from the door and say, well, I didn't really see that door was open, or something like that. I'm just going to keep doing what I was doing, or, just do something else. No, the doors are open. And when we walk through them, when we just take a step in there, we're going to look and you're going to see, like me looking into this room that we're renovating. Oh man, look at how nice it looks with all that stuff in there. This could be a bedroom. We can have visitors. No, not that I really want visitors, but anyway, the point is there's opportunities when you step into what's being offered to you by your higher self, by yourself. You are offering this to yourself because you're ready. You're ready for it. And I think for me, what I'm feeling is there are just some things in my life that, and you might be feeling this too. There's just some things that you think, why am I doing that? Why am I doing this? I could be doing this, or this appeals to me more right now. I'll do this. And when those things happen, go for it. I mean, take a little bit of a risk. It can be scary to kind of go past what these fears, these illusions, right? It's a little bit scary because you've got we live in this illusion, like Master Kirill says in the Genesis Matrix. It's a matrix of thought. Even in thank you, Cheryl. That was cool. We're in a matrix of thought. Whether it's the whole third dimensional matrix that this world is built upon, the governments and how we do things every day, all of that is a matrix of thought. There has to be a matrix of thought to have a dimensional reality. And that's what we have. But when the dimensions shift, like they're doing now, what Master Kirill and Kahu calls the great shift, when that happens, a new matrix is coming onto the evolutionary planet. So we're going to get a new matrix of higher thought. And we might as well tap into it now because it's available to us, this new way of seeing life. But we can choose to see life in the old, way that we've known since we were young or whatever. Or we can start to create something new in love, a higher vibration of reality for ourselves. So start to see within your own life, what are the opportunities to do something at the next level, to let go of something that just doesn't feel right any longer and move into a new focus, into a new matrix of thought. And the matrix of thought is simply the belief systems that we have. And those belief systems, where they come from? Come from our parents, or from people we know, or from churches we went to, or from schools we went to. It's a belief system. I unplugged from my parents' belief system when I started with Kahu and Master Guide Kirill, and they thought I was nuts. So I mean, people might think you're a little airy-fairy, I guess, but where do you feel the love? Where do you feel the love for yourself? That's the important thing. And the people who are around you are going to have their opinions. They're going to challenge your pushing those boundaries. You're going to reflect to you, are you sure? Are you sure you want to do that? You don't want to stay where it's safe and hold on to this or that. You got to get those reflections. I know I do. I know I did. And it's going to make you ask yourself, is this really what I want? What is the truth? And that's when you look at the illusion and you start to enlighten it and see the truth of that illusion. And you might not see like the full truth. Okay, your creator light, your love incarnate, and leave the earth plane. Don't get scared about that. Some people actually have that fear. If I know really who I am, I'm not going to stay. And I'm not talking about going that deep unless you really want to, but you can enlighten it and go to the next level, can't you? Yes, we can. So I want to lead you. You have any questions or shares? Because I'd like to do a meditation about this, but I really would love to hear any shares or Did I stir up anything there? Did I let something go? It's a beautiful time right now. Cheryl says the Lemurian numbers are a Lemurian love path number. Cheryl, go ahead. Where'd you go? Oh, there you are. Yes, please go ahead.
Oh, I just wanted to comment also on your your King of Clubs here. You said this is the mental body, and it seems like we're all changing our minds from zombie head to decluttered head with some of your exercises, choosing those boundaries and asking what's the truth? Is this what I really want? Looking at what's looking back at us in the mirror and saying, oh, got to declutter that too.
Mhm.
Yes, that
Yeah.
very much so. And I thank you for doing that. I think your concept of the matrix of thought also fits in with your King of Clubs, the
Mhm.
matrix of thought. So I'd say you've got us well on our way here.
Thank you so much, Cheryl.
Surely,
Um,
surely.
Thank you. Yeah, yeah, this whole decluttering thing, or it's really looking into our hearts and saying, I love myself enough to do whatever, right? I love myself enough to let that go, or I love myself enough to go to my heart and be truthful with myself about, maybe that's not the relationship for me anymore, that kind of thing. If somebody's in a relationship that they're ready to let go of or something like that, or, really being truthful with yourself. And we can do this at any time. It doesn't have to be like because this is the month of May or 2025, but it is. And so these energies are prevailing. And you can go to, astrologers can tell you about, planetary movements and what's going on right now, but we can all feel it. We don't really need that as much as we think we do, because if we tune into our own hearts, our hearts are going to guide us in the right way, in the way that we can progress forward through our journey and let go of, wow, really deep healing. I had a wonderful healing this past week with my healing partner, Mahina Koo. And I'm still letting go of those past lives, and it's so dramatic. It's so dramatic. But when you let them go, they shift everything. So if you get a signature cell healing, or you're doing the 5 breath self-healing meditation 3 times a day, and those of you who know how to do the vagus nerve activation, that's something that's really powerful, activating your vagus nerve. You're going to shift, you're going to start to see these things, these past lives in your meditation, or, whatever present life. And you're going to look at it and could just go, I don't need to know any more about that than what's coming into my vision right now. I let it go. And when you do, be ready for your whole 4-body system, your whole 4-body weave to kind of jiggle a little bit and reset. But that's what I felt this past week. I think that's what that splinter was coming in, because it was just like, okay, there, let that go. And then, what fills into that space. So that's a good point. When you let things go, what fills into the space? Love fills in the space. And fortunately, that's what fills into the space, because you love yourself enough to let it go, and you love yourself enough to heal. And wow, it's such a powerful time. And I just want to do this meditation. I'm so excited about this meditation. I was doing it this morning. So if there's no other comments, it's just everybody just get comfortable for a moment. And just start to take those deep breaths that we take in the 5 breath self-healing meditation, and just see the golden particles above your crown chakra in your mind's eye. Just see them coming through, and let the light, the golden particles, come through your crown chakra into the pineal gland where the signature cell is with your blueprint, and then allow the light to come in as you inhale. That light, as it exits the pineal, turns into white light, and you draw it down into your heart chakra. And just take some breaths like that. And as you exhale, let the light expand out from your heart. And just feel yourself centered in this beautiful bubble of white light, this safe space that you're creating with your own love. And allow yourself to feel the safety, the sanctity of your own heart light. And from your mind's eye, now in your mind's eye, just see before you a kind of it's like a little ball of light, but it's not clear light. It's a little bit gray. It's a little bit foggy. It's got a few colors in there. It's just not really clear, but it's in front of you. And this energy pattern represents something in your life that you're working with right now. It could be a person. It could be an event. It could be a situation. It could be an illness, something. Just see that it's not completely clear. You're working on it now. And just feel now from your heart, send a light from your heart out to this energy pattern, this lesson plan, or this whatever person, situation, thing, and just enlighten it with your love. Enlighten it with your love. And when you feel it connect, ask your higher self, or ask yourself, what is the truth that I'm ready to see right now? Send the light out from your heart. Let it connect. And feel the wisdom of that energy come back to you, and ask yourself, what is the truth? And just keep breathing and feeling the love surround you. And allow yourself the space to expand your knowing of this person or the situation. And ask yourself, why do I need that person to be like that? Or why do I need that particular situation? Or why do I need things to be this way? And just listen for the answer. Listen for a deeper truth. And if you feel like writing something down, you can, but just gradually begin to see that that energy pattern begin to clarify a little bit. The colors become a little clearer, back a little bit more in focus. You see it a little bit more clearly. You understand the illusion, the truth of that illusion a little bit more. And just start to bring your energy back to your heart. Keep breathing as you send your light from your heart down through your feet into Mother Earth. And then up to through your crown to your higher self. And just feel yourself centered back where you began the meditation. And just allow yourself to process what you've seen and what you've experienced. And take a moment to come back slowly. And when you're ready, you can get a pencil and paper and write it down, or write down words that you remember or guidance that you remember. Maybe you saw an image, you'd like to sketch that out. Just breathe and gradually come back into our gathering. So as everyone's coming back, I just want to remind you that we're here every first Saturday at Heart to Spirit Connections, and the information is always on KarinnaNielsen.com, and you can sign up for newsletters there so you're aware, and you get the login link every month and information about workshops and readings and healing sessions. So also, don't forget, if you're a graduate of Signature Cell Healing, I invite you to join us on the third Saturday. So just email me at KarinnaNielsen.com about that. So how about it? How was the meditation for you folks? Any shares? Or are you processing that? Sometimes our higher self likes the opportunity to drop something in on us that we might not have been expecting. Any shares for that? You're all looking a little bit pensive. Okay. Well, take the time to process, and you put it in the chat if you like, or email me at KarinnaNielsen.com. Mahina, did you want to say, did you have something you wanted to say? Yeah.
The meditation brought me to these M's and M words. Okay, so I am focused on the whole idea of vibration, and vibration from the perspective of music, of motion, of meaning. I kept on getting these M words throughout the meditation. I had to write it down so I could remember. But this movement, and then mele, and then mana'o, and so the words, the English words became Hawaiian words, but they're all with M's. From Mahina Ku.
Whoa. So let me ask you, did you feel a different vibration when you said, for example, if you said mana'o, if opinion changed to mana'o, or, how do the words in English have a different frequency of vibration for you than the Hawaiian?
From the perspective of where I feel it in my body, yes.
Wow.
From the perspective of the meaning, no. But where I feel it in my body, yes.
Wow, that's so interesting. When we because I lived in a different language region for a big part of my life, and I had almost a different personality in that during that time, because I was speaking another language, and some of the things that I could say in that language, I couldn't exactly duplicate in English, and I couldn't exactly do the same, in the other language. It just has a whole different matrix of thought. The different languages represent a culture that has a different matrix of thought. If that makes any sense. And I know I feel that in Hawaii too, that the Hawaiian experience, the native people's experience in that language carries a different experience than those of us that are native English speakers. So I was just really wondering about that. That's just
And you know what's so interesting is as you were talking, I started seeing numbers. So in Hawaiian, I feel like I'm at an 8. In English, I'm at a 7.
wow. That's
Anyway, it's
interesting.
just kind of cool
Wow. That's
because the Hawaiian, right, the whole concept of the aina and uniting with the land and then coming to your heart and going to the heavens, then
weaving.
that was a very, I just kept on seeing, oh, there's an 8, there's another 8, there's another 8.
Mhm.
Just
Wow.
fun.
So interesting. Well, we could go on and on about that because I love Hawaiian language.
And then the 7 is more, I think the 7 is there because that's also my birth number. So it's
Mhm.
like, there's a movement forward, like
Right? Progression.
assess the situation, stop, move forward. Assess the situation, stop, move forward.
Mhm.
That kind of,
Yes.
anyway, that's
Isn't
just
that a
cool.
perfect way to move through the numerology? Because the 7 is a transition number and the 8 is puts it into motion, right? So 7
Yeah.
you change and then you move it with the 8. I love that. That's so perfect.
So
That's great. Thank you. Thank you so much. Wow. That's great. Anybody else from that meditation? I mean, there's so many possibilities that you can do. Yeah, go ahead, Wendy. Oh, go ahead. I think we hit it at the same time. You're muted. Can you unmute?
Okay. Yes, just a quick one is that I loved it when you talked about the higher self, was sending an open door. And I feel like I felt in that meditation that I'm right there at the open door and I'm getting to walk through, but I'm not sure what it is. But I can totally feel it and it feels massive to me. So I'm very excited about it. So thank you. This session has been great.
Wow, thank you so much,
Colin.
Wendy.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a good point. There when we open that new door and we step in, we don't necessarily know what's there, and it's really good to check in with how we feel about that in particular. I'm a kind of a, well, let's just go for it kind of person, but that's just my energy. You might want to take a little more time to assess how you feel about it and then take the step. But sometimes your higher self is ready for you to take that step, and there'll be something that comes along for you that slams the door behind you as you get stepped into that new room. I will put this probably on my website at some time, this parable of the room that Master Guide Kiro used to talk about. Maybe we've done that meditation where you step into the new room, but you require a certain amount of time for your eyes to adjust because it's all dark in there, right? And you just left this brightly lit room, and there you come in and it's dark, and you got to see, okay, well, as your eyes adjust, you start to see, well, there's a sofa, and okay, there's the TV, or okay, there's a picture over there, as your eyes adjust to it. So you may be stepping into that new room without even knowing you're in it yet. You're in the
I may be having a little impetus and push from spirit to heart, heart to spirit.
right. Oh yeah, here,
Okay.
yes, definitely, right. We're giving you all the tools here.
Yes, mahalo. Thank you.
Yeah, I think what it takes, Wendy, is just love, self-love, loving myself enough to actually even see the door. Just see the door. A lot of people don't even see the door, whether it's open or closed or anything. There's just no door, and people will feel like all trapped in this room with no outlet, and they're just in there. They're limited. This is it. But there are doors appearing if we want to see them, and I think that was the whole point of what Master Guy Kiro was saying is your higher self is going to show it to you when you're ready. And if you see it, and then and you trust you can go forward with what your higher self is showing you that door. So congratulate yourself for seeing the door, walking in the door, and giving your higher self an opportunity to slam it behind you, which happens to me a lot. Anyway, wow, I've
If
had
I-
some time. Yeah, Cheryl, please go ahead.
Oh, yeah, if I might, I just want to echo what was being said by Eldine. And I want to say, one of the things that was always interesting to me about Kahu was that he spoke New York. And I'm from New York State, and he was from New
Oh.
York State. And it was always interesting to me that in California, and he was in California for a while, then went to Hawaii, but he never left New York. And I always related to that.
Yeah, I
So,
think in
'cause
many ways you're right. Yeah.
it's that edgy sarcasm that would come through, or that willingness just to toss it across the room. Whatever it was a little bit of New York. And he always
That's
kept
really
that with him.
interesting you say that, because I have a friend who's also New Yorker and on a bit of a healing journey also. And that sarcasm,
It's an
Kahu had
edge.
that
Yeah, it's an edge.
pretty well for a number of years. And then Master Kirill actually kind of called him on it and said, if you're going to be sarcastic, you're putting out that sarcasm as truth. So what you say is revealing the truth of your thoughts and how you feel. And even though it's sarcasm, there is truth in it because you said it and you put it out there. And finally he realized that. And I'm thinking maybe 2010, 2008, he really shifted that. And he didn't say things that he didn't truly mean after that. But I know that period you're talking about, Cheryl, because he did have more of a kind of a joking sarcasm, like a New Yorker. And that's the thing. This other person that I'm healing now has that same sarcasm, and what it's revealing is what they feel. And that person is starting to realize that what they're saying is revealing how they truly feel, even though you could say, oh, that's just sarcasm, I'm just making a joke. No, you're not. You're actually revealing how you feel. So watch that sarcasm. Watch it.
Sometimes it's the banter of exchange, though. There's a certain rhythm that's revealed in it. And a lot of times those quips, they're quick. They have to be quick. If they're not instantaneous, they don't count. So they have to be quick, and they have to be usually done in synchronicity with someone who knows how to banter back.
Okay,
And
so
when you get
okay,
so the absence of the banter partner is what your friend is going through.
okay, so
They need
how
the rhythm.
about you be your own banter partner?
I can do that. Yeah.
Yeah,
I've had a lot of
because-
practice.
Yeah,
I hold it back more often than
so
I think it's healthy.
my prayer is, thank you so much, Cheryl. My prayer is that every one of you will learn to listen to your own heart, to listen to what you're saying to yourself. What are you thinking? What are the words that are leaving your lips? And know that nothing that you say or think just drops to the ground. It has a life. When you give it life, it has a right to a life, and to go out and attract more of itself to itself and to you. So be loving with yourself and your thoughts, and know that everything is attracting to you what you desire. And what do you desire? That's the question. So we're out of time for today, but I so enjoyed being with everyone today. Great meditation. Wonderful times. I'm going to see you again next month on June 7th. And again in the etherics, above Diamond Head Crater, or in it, etherically in meditation on the 8th of May, which is next week. Please join me and email me at KarinnaNielsen.com. I'm so grateful for this gathering, and I wish you a wonderful, brilliant, shiny 5-month of May. Aloha, everybody. Bye-bye. Take care.